We have returned to League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys as the off-season offensiveness continues. The LCS, where finally a lot of these rosters are fully fleshed out, or at least 80% of the players are there, and all of a sudden, the starting mid lane spots start going away, and you're counting how many mid laners you expect to see are left. And
still waiting on Tanner time. When's that coming up?
Ica gets picked up by Immortals, Froggen potentially going to Dignitas.
There's no spots left.
Golden Glue is on the Guardians. But what about Pobelter? And what about Damonte? Pobelter he tweeted a very lengthy tweet that he was upset and disappointed that he had kind of been yanked along by some of the LCS teams saying, oh, just wait and then we'll give you a call. And they ghosted him. He said they ghosted him. He is not going to have a team in the 2020 spring split. Pobelter, the man who won 2 titles with Team Liquid. He won one with CLG. He got to the finals with Immortals. Put some respect on this guy's name.
Ignoring even who it is, and Pobelter absolutely does deserve his veteran respect here, but you gotta say, treating any type of player, any professional player in this type of manner here, ghosting around like that, on something as serious as contracts here, not okay, not a good situation that we want to be seeing from these organizations. And when you're specifically talking about a player like Pobelter, yeah, the performance last year was not exactly up to the level that we have seen him establish throughout his career, but that's kind of to the point here. You've seen him establish throughout his long tenured career in the LCS that he is better than that performance and that he can provide you, especially as a domestic mid laner, an incredible value here as a player for your franchise, and specifically talking about adding in, some of these new franchises coming in, taking over for old ones here this year. This would be, to me, a prime player to pick up and build a team around here, at least for a year or two type of situation here where you got him domestically giving you strong performances, and nobody has bitten the bait here for someone like Pobelter. And even when you go further down the list, our boys like Tanner time Damonte not finding a squad. This is an issue.
And you have to look immediately at, okay, so who has the starting mid lane spots? Is Pobelter
Whose job are you taking?
The top guys, of course, untouchable. Bjergsen, Jensen, even Crown now has definitely established himself. Niski is locked in with Cloud9. Listen, even somebody like Power of Evil, who took Pobelter's spot on FlyQuest, that's close for me. I might have kept Pobelter just for that synergy. He's played with Wild Turtle before. I might have kept him straight up on FlyQuest.
And again, the huge value here. It doesn't matter if you're thinking, yeah, but every once in a while, Power of Evil gives you kind of that big superstar performance.
Did he in CLG?
Well, that's a different question entirely. But again, underestimating the value of a domestic spot here in the mid lane. The mid lane is a huge one for me specifically here. You look at an organization like TSM. Yes, there have been other things that have contributed to them becoming such a successful organization, but a big one was getting Bjergsen grandfathered in here as an NA.
Early, too.
Yeah,
the first one.
As an NA resident here, keeping that strong talent in the mid lane as domestic here allowed them a lot of flexibility here, and whether you agreed with what they did with that flexibility or not is a different story here, but they had it, and they had it because they had a domestic mid laner here, something like Pobelter could offer for many of these squads, but no one's biting the bait.
Nobody's bringing him in. An experienced guy with international, maybe he didn't dominate on the international stage, but he has the experience. He has LCS titles. Damonte's a little bit different because you really started seeing his rise and seeing him starting to reach his potential towards the end of 2019 with Clutch. Whereas Pobelter's an established brand, Damonte is that variable, okay, maybe this guy can get even better and reach new heights. And again, he's a domestic mid laner. I'm surprised nobody took a chance on him. Pobelter would have been the safer choice to bring in, but Damonte, again, that's somebody that you've got to imagine should have found an LCS spot. And I have no issues with Golden Glue getting one. He absolutely has grinded out games for basically 2 years in the academy scene and is deserving of an LCS spot. But you got to imagine Damonte and Pobart too.
We talked about 3 names over the course of this past year here as young NA talent that we wanted to see moving on up through and getting LCS stage time. We talked about Soligo, we talked about Golden Glue, and getting Damonte. And getting Golden Glue back in here for the LCS, that feels great. This is a time that he has really kind of earned this second shot here, another chance at this to establish himself as a pro player. That is what I like to see. But having these opportunities not provided to someone like Damonte, who showed the progress and potential that we've seen here kind of over the last year, I don't know what else you want at this point, because other than the progress that you've seen from Damonte, the only other option is someone like Faker coming in and winning Worlds in their first year. And hey, we're not seeing that here in North America, so you better pay attention when you get someone like Damonte improving and showing that potential, and it turns out not paying attention, not wanting it, not buying in, and that is why the LCS and NA is continuing to stay as a weak region.
And the main roster spots you're going to look at for either of these two guys to have joined is EG. We still don't know who their mid laner is going to be, but they have an open import slot likely that they're going to be using. Okay, fine. You want an import mid? Go for it. Immortals and 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves, it's rumored Ryoma's coming in, and that's great. I love seeing these minor regions get opportunities, but bring him in an academy league at first and have Pobelter, have Damonte. If either of them slip up or Ryoma looks good, you can bring him into your main roster. And the biggest one is Ica on Immortals. I'm all for this EU mid because that's what half of the league in North America is these days. But Ica's a guy who, he's not a rookie like Larson, say, on Rogue, who's still, you see the potential there. Ica's been around for a long time. He played on the LEC stage in 2016 on Elements. This isn't a 17, 18-year-old guy. He's been around for a long time, and I don't know if we can see more potential from him.
And this is a very different situation than even the Golden Glue time that we're talking about here, because when you're looking at this one, Golden Glue has provided the last year or two here reasons that you would want to see him on the LCS stage again, giving another chance, get that rebirth here. He has really reestablished and deserved this next chance opportunity here to get here, and that is not exactly the same that you could say here towards the Immortal side. And you're just looking here at these opportunities, and yes, even bringing in Ryoma would be great for 100 Thieves, but I tell you it would be better. Damonte or Pobelter would be a better option right out of the gate here to find success. And I'm not going to ever say that I'm smarter than Papa Smithy, because got a lot of respect for Papa, but that to me is the easiest of moves here right away, picking up those NA mids and moving on.
And for Immortals, I know they have that French connection with now Ica, Soaz, and Zabutin. And maybe Ica proves us wrong and yet again proves that EU mids are greater than NA, but there's only one NA mid in the LCS. Golden Glue is the only domestic mid laner from North America. Yes, Bjergsen, Jensen, but they're EU mids that have come over, so it's crazy that there's only one. It used to at least be high in Pobelter. Now it's just Golden Glue coming into this year, and I think Damonte will probably take an academy spot when it's offered to him, but Pobelter honestly might feel disrespected and just sit out the entire spring split.
Pobelter has enough talent that he should not be sitting on the sidelines. Damonte showed
Someone's going to come calling for Pope.
Damonte has shown us enough potential that he deserves to keep progressing in this league. NA, stay in bad, stay in not given these roles.
I hope at least these guys get to showcase in Academy. This is why I should be on a team, and I hope they both find spots in 2020 summer. But that's all the time today for League Unlock. Eric and Mark with you guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you next time.